Hi folks, welcome back to Marvel Avengers Alliance here on G4G. Today's background music, as you can maybe tell, is brought to you by the Final Fantasy X OST, one of the more memorable sets of music from the Final Fantasy games. And today we're going to discuss the new gold sale item called Hire a Hero, as I like to call it, the Heroes for Hire PDA. So it is a multi-function item that can summon one of the 5 heroes for hire. You can summon all 5, one per turn, and only one hero. The hero can only be summoned once per combat. Now, without any suspense, I'm going to get right down to it and say that I don't think this item is so good. If you're on a budget and this is one of those months that you don't really feel like spending the money for gold, yeah, you can probably skip this item. It does have some interesting things in it, and that's what we'll show here in the simulator, but I'm actually not that fond of it. And it is showing up in PvP. I've seen it in a few agents lists, although I haven't really run into it too much myself. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab Jessica Jones, and I've seen some questions like, can you summon that hero if they already exist on your team? And the answer is yes. You most definitely can. So I'm going to grab Jessica Jones, and I'm going to grab Misty Knight, and there's a few reasons for that. They go well together, and flanked is one of the things that helps the PDA out a little bit. Well, she's sitting around. Who else has got a good flanked that I could use? Who else do I want to snag over here? I'll just run magic for now. So the PDA is odd in 2 respects. One, none of these actually count as a summons. That's something that I find a little bit odd. The other thing is it actually has some synergy with flanked, which I find somewhat unusual. Boy, I gotta tell you, I have magic in Marvel Heroes. I cannot wait to actually use her. Looking very forward to that. So here you go. You have Jessica Jones, Colleen Wing, Misty Knight, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. Now, they all do different things. For now, I'm going to go ahead and skip it because it's not available in the first round. Which, to be honest, I don't really think that's necessary. I don't think it's that strong of an item that it needs to be limited to it. And you'll see why when I get around to it. So as you can see, still not available to me yet here. Well, that power armor is almost dead, which is unfortunate. We'll be able to set up a proper flanked pretty soon here. Alright, good. So we got new reinforcements, so I'll try to focus on that top power armor. Although I do believe any of the future power armors that she summons don't protect. No, it still does. Okay. Alright, so now that this is available, I can summon any one of these. Luke Cage does a ground attack that does collapsing infrastructure. This has synergy with Quake, Avalanche, Luke Cage himself, but not Null, and the Small Hadron Collider. Now, where this could have been cool is if Hafe maybe acted like you summoned his 9-6, like he cleaned your debuffs and he healed you, that would be honestly a little bit better. But what this one does is he exploits combos. So combo setup works. Here, it just says deadly crits, and it's a free action single use. It doesn't really... The Misty Knight one looks like it doesn't really do anything. The damage is equal to Iron Fist. So it's almost like, what's the point? But actually, if we look over here, it actually says that Jessica Jones is not available, and that is potentially because Jessica Jones is in the fight. So we may have to experiment with that. Consumes all stacks of grit to deal extra damage. This one is useless unless your agent is running something that gives grit, like the Golden 49er. Or maybe like a, well, the grit ISO is an A ISO, but no, actually, yeah, if you were maybe running the grit E ISO and running gun attacks. Over here, Colleen Wing hits one enemy with a hemorrhaging attack. It's stealthy, it removes buffs, and causes weak points. So basically, it's very similar to the whole essence of that particular hero, but there are some of them that just stand out as not really being that good. Like this Misty Knight one. Dodge. And the reason why that's a dodge is because that inherits my tactician over there. This is not a summons attack, despite the fact that it certainly looks like it, but it honestly acts as if it is a regular attack from the agent, which is why the Hydra Vanguard was able to dodge it. He used his infiltrator bonus against my tactician. So I'm just gonna wait around a little bit over here until my agent is up again, trying not to do any more damage. And as you can see here, it's up again. So we've already done Misty Knight. Now I wonder if you try to use it, what the failure looks like. Oddly, I was able to summon her. That shouldn't have happened. Very interesting. Let me see if I can set up another flanked again. Because this is one where the weapon happens to be pretty strong, is if you have flanked. Because, again, since it acts not really as a summons, but as a actual weapon usage, it works off of flanked. Okay, we're just gonna sit here and rest, trying not to kill these guys. Alright. Okay, well, interestingly enough, I was able to use Misty twice. Not really too sure why. So we'll summon Colleen, which should now create a follow-up from my agent. You'll notice it said, I bled out. That's where this is so different from any other similar items, like Doom's summon over there on his level 6. The summons from Carnilla, not Carnilla, Kamala Khan. Carnilla's somebody way different. It doesn't really act the same, and it's both good and bad. There's an upshot and a downside to it. And the upshot is that if you have flanked, it creates a flanked situation. However, you also suffer from the negatives in terms of the class battle. You can see that my first Misty Knight was dodged, and that's because it was Tactician versus Infiltrator. If you used it as a Blaster versus a Tactician, that would also wind up being bad. You would create an extra turn. So Bear that in mind. One of the best ways of doing it, I think, is setting up flanked and then having your agent punch somebody after the quote-unquote summons goes out. After that, I just don't think it's that good. And because it almost acts as if it is a weapon proc. Any of the debuffs on you, like the bleeds and whatnot, you will bleed out for using it. So it definitely has a lot of negatives, and nobody that I've summoned has seemed to be particularly impressive. As you know, Misty Knight's level 9 is a giant exploiter along with, like, Deadpool, and yet I've never seen that thing do a ton of damage. Mind control. So this video is more about like how good the Blue Debbie is, but yeah, it's not a very impressive item, and I find that to be a shame because in general I tend to defend most of the gold sale bonus items. A lot of times people have believed them not to be too good and some are overlooked and initially pooped upon, like Scroll of Runemeroth. A lot of people did not believe in the Runemeroth when it first came out, and as you know now, it is, you know, absolutely huge. The Isosaur Whisper was definitely crapped upon a bit, and I happen to like it, but I wish it was a special functionality item so that you could put it on defense and not think that maybe the agent will waste a turn using it. But my guess is even if, say, you are disoriented and your agent goes to stun from him, God, I hate that stun. I would think that if your agent is perhaps disoriented, you would wind up using it against your own team. Which, you know, is a really scary thought over there. So here we go again. We know Maximus was flanked. It unfortunately fell off. But we'll summon Luke Cage. So he's going to come in. He's going to do that. Now watch. There's the Infiltrator in my face. That wouldn't happen if that was a legit summon. So you can see some of the negative side effects of it. I honestly think one of the best applications for it is definitely Luke Cage, Quake, Avalanche, doing collapsing infrastructure. Outside of that, I don't think it's really that good. If you've got a flanked or an AoE flanked and you want to create a follow-up or an extra attack initiation off of summoning a hero, that may not be too bad. So like in this particular case, we'll summon Iron Fist. Now, you'll see his damage. I mean, it's not anything to write home about. The follow-up Brawl was okay, but yeah, so my verdict is if you're not really looking to spend money right now, and you're not wanting to drop $50 or $100 on this thing, I would give it a pass. I actually would consider this a non-purchase, and if you've watched my videos and seen the history of this channel, I generally consider most to be very good. This one, I just think it's very hard to work with, and one of the only real standouts is the collapsing infrastructure part of it, which can combo very nicely with the Small Hadron Collider and Quake and Avalanche and Luke Cage, but other than that, not really enjoying it too much. So I hope I helped you guys out and made a decision, helped you make a decision for this particular item. And again, to sum it up, I would say it's a pass. So, take care everybody, hope you enjoyed the video.